Get out of here now. You're not my real mother. You were just a charity case my father took in. 58-year-old Anya Petrova stood at the door, a modest duffel bag clutched in her hand. She watched Brendan O'Connell, 29, scream like a petulant prince. The woman who had tirelessly sacrificed for his privileged life was now being discarded like refuse. The irony was bitter. 24 years ago, when Brendan's biological parents died, he was a terrified 5-year-old. Anya, then a humble family assistant, was the only one willing to step up. No wealthy relatives wanted the burden of an orphan, not of their lineage. Your biological parents entrusted you to my care, Brendan. I raised you as my own son, Anya replied, her voice steady. Exactly. You raised me. You did your job as a glorified nanny. And now, you can leave. Brendan roared. I'm 29, a successful architect. I have this incredible penthouse and a fiancée from one of Dubai's oldest families. I don't need you complicating my life anymore. Zara Al-Hamad, 32, Brendan's patrician fiancée and heiress to a vast construction empire, watched from the sleek sofa with a satisfied smirk. Finally, darling. It's about time, she murmured. You deserve better than, well, this. The last word echoed with venomous disdain Anya knew well. In the 2 years since Brendan dated Zara, everything shifted. Introductions no longer included my mother. Anya was now the woman who helped me as a child. Invitations vanished. Anya saw the sidelong glances, the hushed conversations, the palpable shame Brendan felt when colleagues inquired about the older woman, a woman of color, who lived with him. He hadn't called her Mom in public since he started his elite firm. Do you know what your golf club friends say about me living here? Brendan continued, flushed. They think it's weird, a respected architect living with. With what? Anya asked softly, but Brendan couldn't finish. Zara wasn't as reserved. With someone who clearly isn't part of our social strata, she added, adjusting her diamond watch. Appearances are everything in our world. Anya remembered sleepless nights studying with Brendan, savings liquidated for his tuition, extra shifts for his textbooks, all while he slept, dreaming of the glittering future she was building. Get your things and get out of my sight. Brendan continued, gesturing. I never want to see you again, ever, and take those ridiculous, dated pictures of me when I was a kid. They don't match the penthouse aesthetic. The photos. Anya looked at the shelves where Brendan's childhood photos had been. Now, only 3 remained. The rest vanished after Zara moved in. Anya surveyed the cold, minimalist space she helped purchase, the cabinet she varnished, the garden she nurtured. She remembered the 5-year-old boy, comforted only by her humming. The same boy who now saw her as a stain on his perfect, whitewashed life. It's all right, Brendan, she said simply, adjusting her duffel bag. Her eyes held a strange, knowing serenity. Zara let out a brittle laugh. I'm glad you're being reasonable. It makes it easier for everyone. As she walked toward the door, Anya smiled faintly. Brendan had no idea what he had just forfeited. For years, she had kept silent about shrewd investments, powerful connections, and the real reason she never worried about money. If you're feeling incensed by this ingratitude, don't forget to subscribe, because this story will prove that underestimating someone can be a catastrophic error. Anya drove her unassuming sedan through Dubai. 24 years of quiet sacrifice, discarded for social standing. Her phone rang. It was Brendan. Anya, I forgot to tell you I need you to remove all your things from the storage unit too. Zara is converting the space into a walk-in closet. His voice was clinical. And one more thing. Please don't show up at my firm. The senior partners have made uncomfortable comments. Anya gripped the steering wheel tighter. The storage unit, filled with cherished mementos, would be erased. I understand, she replied. Great. Oh, and Anya, just don't make a scene. It's truly for the best. He hung up. Anya sighed. Then a spark ignited. She pulled over and made a call. May? It's Anya. Remember that opportunity, the downtown development? I think I'm ready, and I need to introduce you to someone very influential. May Lin, an astute developer Anya had quietly mentored, sounded intrigued. Anya, you never move this quickly. What shifted? Brendan wants me to disappear because he considers me a social embarrassment. Anya replied coolly, I'll give him exactly that. I'll disappear from the Anya he knows and re-emerge as someone he could never fathom. Each humiliation had fueled a quiet resolve. What those privileged people didn't know was that every act of contempt was signing their own surprising judgment. The next morning, May called Al Nahyan Investments, an exclusive financial firm. What is the client's net worth? The receptionist asked coldly. Between $7 and $8 million initially, May replied. The tone changed instantly. One moment, please. I'll transfer you to Mr. Khalid Al Nahyan himself. Meanwhile, Anya was in a modest hotel suite, meticulously organizing documents from her discreet safe, offshore bonds, mutual funds, private equity receipts, all updated. Her phone rang. It was Brendan. Anya, I need you to sign some papers, he said. It's about the transfer of ownership for the penthouse. Since you lived there, there are legal technicalities. What kind of issues? Anya asked. Zara spoke to her lawyer. Apparently, since you contributed to the down payment, you might have some legal claim. We need a formal waiver. Anya smiled. They were greedier than she imagined. I see. And where am I supposed to sign these papers? At Al Maktoum Legal Chambers tomorrow at 2 p.m. sharp. Don't be late. We have an important engagement afterwards. I'll be there on time. Brendan hung up. 2 hours later, Anya was sitting in the glass and chrome office of Al Nahyan Investments, treated like royalty. Khalid Al Nahyan, a distinguished man, practically bowed. Madam Petrova, it is an immense honor. Your quiet investments in emerging tech, particularly Horizon AI, have been truly visionary. Anya nodded calmly. I was fortunate to get in early. Now, I want to diversify. Of course. What area are you considering? Commercial real estate. Anya stated, specifically, properties that can have a significant social impact. Are you familiar with the area where they're building those new luxury residential complexes? Khalid perked up. Downtown Dubai, of course. Excellent opportunities. Actually, I'm thinking of something different, Anya corrected. I want to invest in community art centers, innovation hubs for underprivileged youth, vocational training scholarships. Places where young people, regardless of background or race, can gain practical skills and explore their creativity. She let the sentence hang. Places where people like me, who came from humble beginnings, can uplift the next generation. Khalid blinked, taken aback, but the size of Anya's potential investment outweighed hesitation. That's an admirable project, Madam Petrova. I can organize an exclusive event to introduce you to key players. Important people. Anya feigned mild interest. Like who? Elite architects, prominent lawyers, heirs to vast fortunes, the kind of networking that can open many doors. Anya smiled. That would be perfect. I'm thinking of a charity gala, perhaps at the prestigious Emirates Towers Ballroom. Khalid's eyes widened. An excellent choice. I'll personally ensure it's an unforgettable evening. That afternoon, Brendan was at his architectural firm, boasting about how he had resolved the Anya situation. You can't imagine the relief, he said. Now I can focus on what really matters. Zara and I are planning a $400,000 wedding at the Palazzo Versace. David, a junior architect, raised an eyebrow. $400,000? That's a fortune. Zara's father is covering everything, Brendan boasted. He said it's worth investing in the family image. By the way, do any of you need a personal assistant? Anya is experienced. Laughter rippled. Brendan felt validated. What he didn't know was that 3 blocks away, Anya was signing a contract to establish a vocational training and art scholarship program worth $300,000 a year, to be launched at a charity gala the following week at the same Emirates Towers Ballroom where Brendan planned his wedding reception. Khalid Al Nahyan was ecstatic. Madam Petrova, this event will bring together the crème de la crème of Emirati society. It will be an unforgettable evening. Anya calmly flipped through the guest list Khalid had prepared. There it was, Brendan O'Connell and Zara Al Hamad. Are they confirmed? Anya asked. Yes. Mr. O'Connell is a rising star, and Miss Al-Hamad is the daughter of one of our biggest construction clients. They're well known on the social circuit. Anya calmly closed the folder. Perfect. It's going to be a truly special evening. As she left, Anya glanced at her reflection. For 24 years, she had been just Anya, the woman who took care of Brendan, remaining in the shadows. In 1 week, she would re-emerge as something her adopted son could never imagine. They couldn't see that every act of contempt had only strengthened her resolve. They were about to discover that underestimating someone can be the most costly mistake. The night of the charity gala arrived with unparalleled pomp. The Emirates Towers ballroom was transformed. Brendan and Zara arrived in his gleaming black Lamborghini, he in a bespoke tuxedo, she in a $10,000 designer abaya. Both felt at home. Finally, an event worthy of us, Brendan commented. No inconvenient people to spoil the evening, Zara chuckled. People like us deserve to be among people like us. They entered, greeting acquaintances. Brendan was beaming. Rumor had it the mysterious host was a reclusive millionaire. Who is the organizer? Brendan asked David. No one knows for sure. They say it's a woman named Anya Petrova, but she hasn't made an appearance. Brendan frowned. The name sounded vaguely familiar, but he couldn't connect it. The official presentation began. Khalid Al-Nahyan took the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with immense pleasure that I introduce the visionary who made this evening possible. A benefactor who has decided to invest an unprecedented $5 million in vocational training programs and 3 innovation hubs. Applause echoed. Brendan and Zara applauded mechanically. A woman who proves that true wealth lies not in accumulation, but in lifting others to your level. Please welcome, Madam Anya Petrova. Brendan froze. Blood drained. Anya took the stage with undeniable elegance. Her demeanor was different, more confident, more imposing. When the spotlight illuminated her, a stunned silence descended. Good evening, Anya said into the microphone. Thank you for being here to support a cause that is very dear to me, ensuring that talented young people have the same opportunities, regardless of their social background or the color of their skin. Anya's eyes found Brendan, her gaze unwavering. You must be wondering why I chose to invest specifically in education and skills development. A tremor ran through the room. The answer is simple. A few days ago, I discovered in the most painful way possible that raising a person with love does not guarantee they will repay you with respect. A murmur swept through the room. I spent 24 years raising a young man as if he were my own son. I worked tirelessly, invested my life savings, and sacrificed everything to give him the best education and opportunities. Anya paused. A week ago, I was cruelly evicted from my home because my presence was deemed inappropriate for his social circle. Brendan tried to slip out, but glances paralyzed him. Zara whispered furiously, "Is that her? Is that your Anya?" But do you know what truly broke my heart? Anya continued, looking directly at Brendan. It wasn't being called inappropriate. It was realizing that I raised a person who measures the value of others solely by their bank accounts and by the color of their skin. Anya took a deep breath. What Brendan, and perhaps many of you, never knew is that my own family lineage, generations ago, was among the original architects and builders of this very land. My ancestors, though uncredited in modern history, laid the very foundations upon which many of your families built their fortunes. My modest upbringing was a choice, a way to understand the world from a different perspective, not a limitation. Khalid Al-Nahyan cautiously approached. Madam Petrova, perhaps we should focus on the charity goals. Anya smiled. Of course, Khalid, the charity. She took a folder from her bag. These $300,000 a year scholarships will ensure that talented young people are not judged by their appearance, background, or skin color. Something, unfortunately, some people never learn to value. The room was utterly silent. Brendan felt all eyes on him. Zara, calculating, tried to save face. Anya, what a wonderful surprise. Brendan was just saying how much he missed you. Please, Miss Al-Hamad, Anya interrupted. There's no need to pretend. Last week, you both declared I wasn't part of your social strata. You were right. In fact, I am not part of circles that gauge people's worth by inherited wealth or superficial status. The audience murmured louder. Some took photos. Brendan knew all of Dubai would be buzzing. But do you know what's truly amusing? Anya chuckled. All these years, while Brendan was ashamed to introduce me as his mother, I was quietly building something he never imagined. The $12 million I'm donating today came from my own shrewd investments, saving every dirham left after funding his education, and secretly diversifying a legacy fund passed down through generations of my family. This fund, in fact, holds significant shares in the very construction companies that built many of these towers you see around you, including parts of Zara's family's holdings. Brendan staggered. $12 million? Shares in our company? Zara went pale. So yes, Anya concluded, her voice gaining strength, I'm leaving your social circle. I'm joining a far more exclusive one. The circle of those who use their prosperity to genuinely uplift others, to build and innovate, not to humiliate or exclude. The applause was deafening. People rose, cheering Anya, while Brendan and Zara remained petrified, knowing they had lost everything. Their reputations. Brendan finally understood he had completely underestimated the woman who raised him. Was it possible to regain trust? 3 months after the gala, Anya sat in her new office in DIFC. The sign read, "The Petrova Legacy Foundation, cultivating tomorrow's innovators." Her phone rang. It was Mei Lin, the executive director. Anya, we have over 200 more scholarship applicants this month, and the documentary about your story is going to be shown on Al Jazeera International next week. Anya smiled. Her $5 million donation had blossomed into a $35 million foundation. What else is new? Anya asked. Brendan O'Connell lost his position. Zara Al-Hamad's family effectively disowned her from operational roles. They did not appreciate the publicity. Anya shook her head, feeling no satisfaction, only sadness for the son she had lost to greed and prejudice. That same afternoon, Brendan was sitting in a modest cafe in Bur Dubai. His savings were gone, his penthouse sold, and Zara had ended their engagement. I can't be associated with this mess, she had said. Brendan's phone rang. It was an unknown number. Hello, Brendan. It's me, Anya. He was silent. Anya, You don't have to say anything. I know you're going through a difficult time. I want to make you an offer. Brendan felt hope. What kind of offer? A junior position at the foundation. Entry-level salary. No special privileges. You'll start by managing our community outreach and learning about the programs. Tool take it, he whispered, tears stinging his eyes. But there's one condition, Anya continued. You'll work directly with disadvantaged young people, particularly those from various ethnic backgrounds who face systemic barriers. You'll get to know their stories. You'll understand what it means to fight for opportunities. And if you truly change, if you learn what respect and humility are, maybe, just maybe, we can begin to rebuild our relationship. I promise, Anya. Second was completely wrong. Don't promise me, Brendan. Prove it. 6 months later, Brendan was in the foundation's Innovation Hub, helping a 17-year-old artist, a young Yemeni refugee, plan a large-scale mural. The young man, full of raw talent but lacking resources, reminded Brendan of his own early architectural dreams and how patiently Anya had supported him. Thank you, Mr. Brendan. This opportunity means everything to me, the young artist said. At that moment, Brendan finally understood. Anya hadn't taken revenge. She had given him the chance to rebuild based on true values. He also found a long-suppressed passion for community-based, socially conscious design, a path his previous firm would never have allowed. He began sketching inclusive spaces. Anya watched from the doorway. Brendan had been working for 6 months, earning a modest salary, living in a small apartment. He seemed genuinely fulfilled, helping others through art and design. He's changing, May commented. He's learning what you tried to teach him, that a person's value isn't in their bank account, nor in their lineage, but in how much they can uplift others. That night, Brendan called Anya. "Mom," he said, using the word for the first time in years. "I wanted to thank you for not giving up on me, even when I deserved it." Anya smiled. Sometimes people lose everything to discover what truly matters. Anya Petrova's story became a global phenomenon. Universities invited her to speak. World leaders sought partnerships. Brendan O'Connell never returned to his former life. His family's name was linked to the scandal, and his career stagnated, a cautionary tale. 2 years later, Anya stood on stage at the Sorbonne University in Paris, speaking about overcoming adversity and social justice. "I learned that the best revenge is not to destroy those who hurt us," she said. "It is to build something so powerful and positive that it transforms not only our lives, but the lives of everyone around us. And sometimes, we help those who hurt us find a better path, even if they never walk it with us again." In the front row, Brendan watched proudly. Now a lead architect for the Petrova Legacy Foundation, specializing in designing inclusive community spaces, he had found his true calling. Anya concluded, "When someone rejects you because of prejudice, don't let it diminish you. Use that pain as fuel to prove that a person's value can never be measured by their skin color, social status, or address. Because in the end, those who judge by the wrong values always find out too late that they missed the opportunity to know someone truly special." The applause was deafening, but Anya knew the real victory was not in that glory. It was in Brendan finding his way back to himself. It was in the thousands of young people now with opportunities. It was in the proof that pain can turn into purpose and rejection into redemption. If you were moved by this story, subscribe and leave a comment. Have you ever been underestimated? How did you react? Sometimes the greatest injustices are just the universe preparing us to discover a strength we didn't know we had. Anya Petrova was rejected by her son, but discovered her true family was all the lives she could touch. She learned the best revenge is not to make others suffer. It is to achieve success and purpose her enemies could never imagine, turning contempt into fuel for those who deserve our energy.